I think Dawson has questions.
Dawson always has questions. Connect your audio, Dawson. Okay, I want to talk about something that is not discussed often. So there's the buyer's market and the seller's market, and the middle is balanced. So a buyer's market means that the buyers have all of the power. This is like 2009, 10 through probably 15, or maybe even 11, maybe not that long. But so it was like buyers could ask for anything, and the sellers just had to bend over backwards to make it happen. This usually happens when there's too much inventory and not enough buyers, right? Supply and demand. We have more supply of homes than there is demand to buy them. A seller's market is like the exact opposite. We don't have enough homes, so the supply is really low and the demand is really high. This was like 2020 to 2023 kind of an idea where agents were showing homes and you would have to go the same day as the listing, and it didn't matter what it was priced at, you would probably have to bid higher than the purchase price. And a lot of people were doing all cash offers. Like it was ridiculous. So both of those markets are very different. Well, we are right now more in this balanced market. We're kind of right in the middle with supply and demand. So what that means is that it's not easy. It's not hard, but it's not easy. What I mean by that is you need to help create urgency for people to buy. Because if they are not urgent, they have really no reason to move quickly. Think about sellers. The interest rate that they have is probably in the fours or below, and they have to move to something in like the sixes or sevens. Like it almost doesn't make sense to move like that unless they have some motivation, some factor. So a lot of these people that are moving are like they just graduated college, maybe they're buying their first house. They just got a new promotion and they hate their old house and they're making enough to make it justifiable. They had a death in the family, they're getting a divorce. They have to move for some reason. Those are the sellers that are moving right now, is the ones that have to. They have a very strong motivation. Now, the buyers, on the other hand, they can kind of just hang out and wait. They don't most people don't have to buy. You can rent really easily. You can jump in some of these midterm, like rent for a few months. Some people are seeing. But so let's take a little vote. Give me a thumbs up if you think by 2025 rates are going to be lower, lower than today. All right, no one gave a thumbs up. How about higher? Give me a little thumbs up. Okay, so Dawson's thinking higher than today. Ooh, Daniel too. Who thinks it's going to stay the exact same? Give me a little thumbs up. If you didn't vote, give me a little thumbs up just so I know you're alive.
I was trying to.
I
There we
say,
go.
I don't know how to give a thumbs up, so I would be right there. Um, so all year the Fed has talked about interest rates and that they might bring them down over the year. Now, what the Fed says and what the mortgage rates are not the same. They usually walk in tandem, but they don't have to match. So what the Fed doesn't technically change our mortgage rates, but it does. Like they'll follow each other pretty closely. And so if the Fed lowers rates, interest rates should get lower. They do not have plans to do that. Everyone's expecting, even when they meet next week, that they're not going to change anything. So we at least are looking at a summer with about the exact same rates that we have. So there's not a big motivation or urgency factor. So as you're talking to people, you almost need to create that urgency, you know, Corbin, you're meeting with your buddy that plays poker with you, and he might want to buy an investment property. Why should you do that today rather than 6 months or a year from now? Maybe interest rates go down next year. We have no way of knowing. And so why would you buy now rather than a year from now? And that's what you need to help people understand. So some of these answers on why buy now is prices go up consistently. I think from the 70s, we're like a 4 or 5% appreciation rate. And so every year a home gets 4 to 5% more expensive on average. Now that even includes like 2008 where we took big drops down. And so when you look at home values over time, they are going up dramatically. I do not think home values will go down. Home values go down when we're in a buyer's market. Because remember, buyers have power. So what do buyers want? Everything cheaper. Home prices go up in a seller's market because home sellers have all the power. And what do they want? The most amount of money. So they are asking for more. So those are opposites. When we're in a balanced market, they kind of trend upward slowly. Not fast, not jumping like we did in the last couple years, but they'll just consistently go up at the 3, 4, 5% a year range. So let's talk about down payment. Let's say you find a duplex that your friend could buy for 500,000. By the way, I don't know if that exists. If you put 5% down on a $500,000 house, that's $25,000. If you wait 1 year and interest or the home appraises or appreciates 5%, we now have to save $1,250 more just because we waited 1 year. Not to mention the unknown with interest rates, and that's at a very conservative jump in appreciation. Every year you have to save more money, and trying to save that additional is usually difficult. Or you could move in and get that money. You get $1,000+ just for owning a home. So the sooner that you can get in, the better. Especially if it's an investment property. On Thursday, we're going to dive into all of the values of investment property so you guys can speak intelligently about this. And then hopefully I can convince you to buy investment properties with this as well. So as you're talking to people, try to create that urgency. Some of that might just go right back down to their motivation. Oh, you just had a baby and you don't have enough rooms in your house for all of your children. Like, drill onto that, right? What's it like? Where are all the kids sleeping? What happens when they get a little bit older? Let's use that as a motivation factor to get people in. Oh, you just got a new job and you're making way more money. What if you were to move to a new house? What would it look like? How awesome would that be? Does that kind of fit the lifestyle you've been thinking with? Like, you wanted to earn more money for a reason. Isn't that your house? So start to create these urgencies based on their motivations on why they want to do these things anyway. And the deeper you can drill and the more emotional you can make it, the more real it's going to be, and people will move quickly to get properties. Even though it might not, it makes sense to buy a property right now. I'm not saying that, but it doesn't make as much sense as it did 2 years ago when money was so cheap. It was easy to buy a house, so everyone was doing it. Now it's a little bit harder, it's a little more expensive, but I still think it makes sense because in the long run, home prices are going to go up. Do you want to know what makes a good home investor or a real estate investor? Is time. So think back, like I always think, my parents bought the house. I bought my parents' house. They built their house for $89,000. I bought it from them 7 years ago for $400,000. Like that, they made so much money over the 20-year period for doing nothing just because they invested in a home. So create some urgency, get some people excited about that. If you're in the office, come up by my office, let's meet up, and we'll work on some scripts and things to start making some calls and talking to some people. Go crush it today. I'll see everyone at team meeting if I don't see you right now. See y'all soon.
See ya.
Thank you.